beat tells a story. A silent rhythm, strong and true. But silence helps one hear the call. Your voice can break down every wall. You're not alone in the fight. We stand beside you, shining light. Never shut up, silence helps no one. Raise your voice, lift another until the battle's won. We stand together, stronger than before. Heroes rise when we speak out loud forevermore. Every word's a beacon, shining bright and true, for all the world to see what we can do. Never shut up, speak out loud. We stand together,
She got a nosebleed.
Oh.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm back, and so is Lynn and Jan. And Lynn has a brand new necklace,
Yes, I do.
and a new hairstyle.
Yes.
It's I love it. What possessed you to cut your hair short?
I it was funny, Zach. I kind of had forgotten I had gotten a haircut until we started the family networking meeting a few hours ago, and then it was great watching your face as you were trying to process what to say and not say. And I just need to acknowledge Adrian. You've trained him very well.
I wish I had, because when I got my haircut, the first thing he did when I got out of that chair was looked at me and goes, "It's short." I'm like, that is the point. My whole intention behind mine was, and like Jan, I know she's going to understand this, and you will. Get rid of all the old energy that is in it. It's gone. It's done. It's in the past. I don't want it.
Yeah, I definitely feel that with hair. And I used to wear my hair long, and then somewhere around like 2015, 2016, I decided to cut it much shorter. And in general, don't ever get too attached to a hairstyle you'll see me with, because I like to shift it every couple months, and try something new, a new cut, a new color. Um, there are just so few things in life that you can play with and experiment with, and create a dramatic change that are really and truly yours, is the way I feel about hair. Um, Thank you for waiting for the start. I did have a nosebleed. My partner Alex has been saying for months now, you're just like 11 from Stranger Things. And one of these nights on Lynn's Day, you're going to get a nosebleed. They're going to go, "Oh my God, her powers." And, tonight that almost happened. And so I think he's a little disappointed that we weren't quite on camera yet. But, there's always next month.
This dry weather is just ugly.
Well, they're in the middle of a blizzard right now.
Yes,
That's what I'm
we
saying.
are.
The weather is not good. Jan's son was with me for a little while, for a few weeks, and I tell you what, if anybody feels the dry, it is him. I actually put in, there was I went and got a little bread container. It's a metal bread container, and I put water in it and put it on our radiator, because radiators obviously are gas and they are very dry. And so I put that in his room with a couple of drops of lavender oil, and told him, "Keep this filled." And I gave him the little, the dropper of lavender oil, and he did. He kept it filled. But you could tell he was feeling that dry. He would every once in a while. And he says, "It is so dry." And even Zach, he's like, I have to do something, because my nostrils are constantly dry. And I had the same thing in our room. So, yeah, this is just weather right now. We need to get to summer.
Yeah, I
Yeah, because it's never dry in the summertime. Never.
I live in the
Not.
desert. It is always dry.
That's in Mexico. That is not here.
Metal coffee cat. Yep, Keith. That's kind of what we've done in this house for forever. Is just like a metal of
Not a
water.
no, sir. It is. This is actually really cool. His grandmother had over the radiators, which, mind you, these radiators heat this house, except the main floor. The upstairs is so hot you can't stand it. The downstairs is ridiculously cold. The main floor might regulate, might, but it's going to be 10 degrees colder than upstairs, which I have the windows open and going, oh my God, it is 20 degrees. But they had this little cool idea. They had shaped metal, I don't know, a tin to the radiators and had hangers that come over and hold them up there. And they hang on the back of them so you don't even see them. And they're amazing, but they're only in the main floor. So I had to figure out something for the top floor.
So, hey everybody, we need you to start putting your questions in for Lynn to give you a reading. So, please, if you would like to
I'm
get
gonna take dogs out.
yeah, thank you. If you would like to get a free reading today from Lynn from Footnotes Tarot, please put in a question, and we will have Lynn read for you. So, Jan, do you have a question?
You know what? You want to just do a general?
um I will let you choose. I can just shuffle them and say what is the most important message from the universe, or if you okay.
No.
Good Rose.
I gotcha. Let me ask you this, Jen. Only because I got to hear you during the last segment. If you had to choose between card deck and your choices were like a little more specific but mundane information, or something that is a little less specific but more profound.
Little less specific, more profound.
Can you please get your butt out of my face?
No, I will not.
I'm glad that was your answer. I kind of had a feeling. I had a deck that asked to come out for this segment, and then another one that was just kind of lurking around. And this one is called the Voyager Tarot, and it's a deck that I usually save for people who can kind of handle some deep stuff. Clearly, you can, so I'm gonna.
I used the Thoth deck.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm a pretty blood in your face person when it comes to tarot readings. So I give most people credit. Like you guys can you guys can be nice about it. Like I can't.
Get down. Go.
The deck says you're screwed. You messed up.
Sound like my astrologer. She's amazing that way.
Let me tell you.
It depends on your individual energy. Like as a Leo, I'm a little too much fire. If I throw that out there, like there's a fight in the parking lot. If there's someone who's got like maybe water energy, they could just throw that right out there and it flows.
Yeah. Everybody's like, "Oh, water should be calm." No. My middle name is Lynn, which means raging river. So let's let like
Raging River. God, I heard it was like dweller by a waterfall or something was the translation I got as a kid.
yeah, no, it's river. It's ever flowing river. So just yeah,
Or the Raging River. That tracks.
I'm river, I will cause a path wherever I go.
I believe it. I believe it. Oof. Okay. So I have these cards that have jumped out for you. Um, I will start with the two that I'm going to start with are kind of like I'll call them the homework cards. What do I need to think about when I'm out of here? And I will hold the card up to the camera for as long as I can because one thing I like about this deck is it talks about some concepts, but it's got these like collage looking pictures that people can pick a lot of sort of random things out of. Um,
So I'm
so
going to get close. I don't have my glasses on.
so we are starting with balance.
Wow.
Balance.
This is the homework assignment. We are on a special that has to do with mental health. We've been talking about mental health all day. And so this is the balance that comes with the mental health. And I think specifically in your case, this is the balance that comes with I have experienced trauma and suffering in my life, and I've sat with it and I've healed myself to the extent that I can be. And now I'm ready to share that healing with others.
I hope that is.
And the more people that I can see be helped and be better, that is a thing that can make me feel helped and better. So here you are. That's how we're creating the balance. Um,
Let them in.
the card has all sorts of like self-care themes. We have somebody who's dancing and somebody who's gazing into the clouds. We have this big jewel that talks about these themes of like the lotus and the jewel and the clarity and seeing ourselves that way. So we're at a profound time and place, and the reason why you are being called on to examine that balance and lean into that energy is a reversed two of worlds. In this deck, worlds is kind of more your pentacles. Um, we know Venus is like your health, your love, your wealth. All of those things kind of get tied together, and the card is showing the world being out of balance. The Two of Pentacles in tarot kind of talks about life balance. This is saying the world is out of balance, and um, it speaks about reflection. And so, reflection, seeing ourselves in others, understanding that mirror sort of thing of what we see is what we can heal and what we need to heal. So that is the journey that you're on. 2026 is a 1 year. We have a lot of heavy Aries energy at the moment. Saturn has just moved into Aries, so that's challenges and limitation and time management and the passage of time. And it doesn't like to be in Aries because Aries is the child of the zodiac. It's quick, 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 now, now, now. And so, for the next 2 years, all of us are going to feel like, oh my gosh, I did this at the last minute. I ran out of time for this. I didn't have time for that. Like, strap in. It's 2 years of this. And so, we're having this conversation about the mental health and people being like, hey, I don't have time for mental health. I don't have time to learn that thing that might help me. I don't have time to reach out to that person and see if they're okay. I don't have time to take care of myself. These are the challenges that people are working through. Neptune is also in Aries, so that's our planet of dreams and illusions and delusions. And it's also the place where like PTSD and flashbacks and nightmares all live. They live at Neptune also. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the sign of the baby. It's also the sign of the warrior. It also is associated with the head because when you think of childbirth, most of the time the head is coming out first. And so, um, cosmically, for all of us, it's the year of coming up against our challenges with wounding, whether they are childhood wounds or traumatic wounds or wounds from the places that we've had to be the warrior. And we're at the beginning of this 2-year journey of how do we meet those challenges? How do we get around those obstacles? And we're at the beginning as a 1 year. And so people are really arriving for the first time and saying, hey, how do I do this? So thanks for showing up, Jan, right on time. Who are you in this scenario? Who are you to others? What is the thing that you need to show people and exhibit? And you are pulling the Empress card. And so it is absolutely, you are giving the example of how to achieve self-care. Or you are giving the example of, I tried this, I did this, I know about this. And you not only showing people that and gaining a reputation for that, but this is like the skill that you are also learning for yourself. So there's no sense in which self-care is selfish. It's literally like you're supposed to be studying this. Like, go to the spa, go to 2 or 3 spas and figure out what the best one is and tell somebody about it. Even something like that, it's not selfish. It's like somebody needs to be doing the research. And, for you to be being called on this journey means that you have the audience and the reach, that it means something when you're doing it. So, you are also pulling fortune card. Um, Fortune card is what it is. It is a change in fortune and it's upright. And so this is a strong suggestion that over the next year or two, and I would say certainly within the next 8 months, you're going to come to a place where the wealth picture can change and change dramatically for the better. So, that's
We're
how
trying.
you do it. You know what I mean?
We're
Don't do
trying,
anything
yeah.
drastically different than what you're doing now, and I hope that comes out for you. So we still have free will, but if you maintain the focus that you are focused on now, things can really change for the better. And like I said, we're in this Saturn 2-year cycle, but certainly over the next 8 months, like by the end of this year, you'll have a sense of where you're going. You are pulling the Child of Wands card, and it is a seeker card. I feel like you know a lot more about this card than I do. I feel like we've been talking about some of it tonight. If I had to translate this in any way, I would literally say this is more of like a stopping in and saying hello card. You've been looking for me, here I am. Sort of deal. We have a reversed 8 of Cups with a reversal of the word stagnation. So this is saying if you have felt like you were stuck in the mud and things weren't going forward and things weren't moving, done with that cycle. And I'm going to say, especially towards the end of April, as the planet Uranus moves out of Taurus, which is that muddy, stuck, stubborn planet, and into Gemini, which is air, and it's multiples, and it's switching directions and getting a different perspective. I would expect to see even less stagnation. So this is just a sign that, whatever you've been putting in is over. The 8 of Cups has a flavor of abandonment and the emotions that come with looking at what no longer serves me. And if what no longer serves me is a heck of a bunch of stuff, a lot of people I know, a lot of situations I've been putting myself in, a lot of things that are the main components of my life, and I really just need to cut ties with all of it. It's heavy. It's a lot of feelings. We just came out of Saturn in Pisces, which was like a good time to kind of reflect on all of this. So congratulations, that cycle is over and you are moving into the fruitful future. We said that was a reversed 8 of Cups. Your next card, where we will end this reading, is the 9 of Cups. and it says fulfillment. So, Jan, you're doing some pretty major stuff to get like the fortune card and fulfillment both in the same reading. We talked about like, did you want something that was less specific and a little more profound? I feel like we got to this place. The Nine of Cups talks about there is a place where I can feel satisfied, fulfilled, no matter what is going on. I compare it to like going to the bar, right? Like whether somebody is celebrating or whether somebody is grieving, they show up and somebody pours out something of themselves, some kind of libation that is appropriate to the situation, and in the best case scenario, the person seeking that feels lifted. And so, connected to all of that, self-care work and experimenting and seeing what works and then like spreading the word, this is where you get to really reap the benefits of that and not just be unstuck, but really be in a place where the resilience and the joy is there regardless of what's on the outside. And like, the money probably helps.
We're trying to fix up the house, and I gave myself an X amount of time. We've done a lot of work to the house, and I said, I don't know where we're going after this, but this house needs to be put on the market. And the house has been my healing, and fixing room by room with Jesse and healing myself. And you hit on the abandonment, and that's something that's very profound in my life. Is the abandonment. And I finally looked at Jesse and I said, you know what? I'm just going to file. I'm done. Obviously we're not going to reconcile. I don't want to, but I'm done. Like I'm calling the lawyer on Monday. I just said this before I came on the show. I'm like, we're calling the lawyer Monday and we're getting the paperwork rolling. And I just want to move on. I'm tired of being held back. So that reading's very spot on. And I laugh because you know what, Taurus, I live with one. And he's a Cinco de Mayo baby to top it off.
Yeah.
I gave birth to 3 of them. So
You're also soulmates with one of them.
It's wow. And it's the whole Taurus, everything we were talking about earlier tonight, and then also in your reading and like, frankly, in your life, it's got such a Scorpio heavy vibe. And
oh God, don't tell that to Keith. Because he's like, where is this Scorpio in your guys' world?
Everywhere. So let's talk about Scorpio. The big themes we associate with Scorpio. It's anything that's death. It's anything that's axe murderer. It's anything that's,
Yes.
kills or almost kills you. It's trauma. It's things that are hidden. It's secrets. It's anything that has to do with sex or something that is sordid. It's anything that is tarot and occult, and anything that is kind of forbidden or taboo. Tattoos, depth, and the great unknown that is the depth. Poop, literally any kind of excrements that is like coming out of the body is Scorpio. The medical fields, how they're constantly on the bridge of life and death and dealing with everybody's like personal fluids and deepest feelings and things like that. All of that is Scorpio energy.
It is.
Yeah, I mean it's there's just so much of it. And if you think about like the zodiac wheel, Scorpio and Taurus oppose each other. They're directly opposite each other. If you think of all of those signs on the wheel as like driving toward the center, the way that they're aspected suggests how that energy works. And in your case, it's like a head-on collision for both of those energies every single time. And gosh, Taurus does not move. It plants and it stays, and that's it.
God.
And like if we want to talk about like the ghosts and the energy that is still here after people have moved on, That's got to be the Taurus people. It's got to be. I mean,
His ass will haunt me for the rest of my life. If he were to go before me, you know what'll happen? I'll be taking a shower, and that shower curtain will rip apart, and that toilet seat lid will go down, and I swear I'll hear a plate of food cross that bathroom counter. I know. Like, hey, baby, I'm here for the show.
yeah.
I could be 98 years old, and he'd be like, "What you got, baby?" Here. Like, I know it would.
Oh,
Well, our next reading is going to be for Keith, and his question is: when will the light arrive in my life?
when will the light arrive in my life? All right,
That sounds like a wonderful song to create.
it
You know what,
does.
Lynn? I keep on telling him it's Avelina, and he just doesn't believe me. I'm like, she's the one you've been seeking.
Good babe. All right. When is the light arriving in my life? I'm going to use the Fountain Tarot for this one because this feels a little more specific.
You got chaos, Zach?
What's that?
You got chaos?
Yeah, I got dogs. So yes.
No, we don't have any.
Listen, it was either chaos or he was watching you as you walked away, and he was watching your butt.
Yes, Dad's right here.
No, I wasn't watching Dad's butt.
What?
But what?
Where did you come up with that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what you were saying.
I
So.
said Dad's here. Nothing about a butt.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna launch into the next reading. The question was, when is the light coming into my life?
Yes. When will the light arrive in my life?
When will the light arrive in my life? Okay, so the first card that I am pulling is the Knight of Cups. Cups talks about feelings in the tarot, and the Knight is somebody who is moving into a situation for the first time, and it's their job to address it, but they may not exactly know how. And so, what this situation represents for you is some sort of emotional landscape that is new to navigate, or that you're trying to navigate in a new or unfamiliar way. There's this sense of, having the right feelings and wanting to move into a situation, but not necessarily knowing order of operations. And so the first thing I want to throw out there is, if that's the energy the situation is opening with, having this moment of saying, hey, when are things going to change, makes a lot of sense. And it's not because you haven't thought enough about it. It's just because this is part of the lesson is coming in at this entry level. We are pulling a reversed Queen of Wands. And so Wands represents people who are very action oriented, very fiery. They can be very bossy. These are like the doers and the taskmasters in our lives. And this card is reversed. And so it's suggesting that there is somebody who is no longer in the picture. The card is representing them as a queen, which could mean this is either a female figure or this is somebody who has what we would consider more traditional, nurturing energy. And it also would have been somebody who, in this hierarchy position, would be someone whose judgments you would have cared about. And so, to partially answer the question, when are things changing? When are things shifting? This card is coming up reversed. And so it suggests that this person is not coming back into the picture, and that it is on you now to kind of navigate things without this person's direct involvement. You're pulling a Three of Coins. This often talks about new jobs. As I'm pulling this card, I'm getting 6 months, which would take us to somewhere around end of August. If you're looking at timing, that's when I would say timing. This has a good sense of shifting around 6 months, even though the question feels more emotional. Venus is like love and health and wealth and money all rolled together. So a lot of times people will find themselves not only in a new job or career opportunity, but also in some sort of other emotional shift that happens with their family or their romantic life. And so, generally speaking, 6 months. That being said, you are pulling a Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords talks about anxiety. It talks about the types of thoughts that keep us up, that we don't get good sleep. This talks about people who wake up in the middle of the night because they have worries, nightmares, anxieties, any of those things. And so we're saying, when do things change? Um, there are some things that you need to work on your end to make that 6 month time frame and potential for change a reality. And the first thing is, kind of looking at this and saying, hey, sleep and rest and a better mental health headspace are a big part of it. And there are some things that you can do about it. Yeah, I would have been shocked if this card did not come up on this broadcast, because we were talking about this so much. And so, um, the two things that come up: how do we address that Nine of Swords issue? How do we kind of experience an emotional lift that helps us look at the next 6 months and say, hey, I can get over some hurdles and I can make
Tarot readings.
this happen? Um, Five of Coins reversed. Five of Coins reversed says, just because I missed opportunities in the past doesn't mean I have to keep missing them in the present or the future. And so the first thing is, if you've been having thoughts about, this is where I failed before, this is where I didn't make things come through before, this is where I wasn't able to meet the moment before, this card is saying, hey, that's in the past and you're in a different place now. And every time you think, oh geez, I'm not sure if it's possible, I'm not sure if I can pull things off, just remember, you're no longer in that negative place that you were in. You have a much different focus and different intentions now. And so that missed opportunities or not understanding the opportunities until they've already gone by, that is a past part of your journey, not the future part. Also, you are pulling a reversed King of Swords. King of Swords says, this is somebody who has been hard on you. Swords is intellect, it's thoughts, energy. And if I'm being honest, what's coming up with this card is maybe that there was someone who was an advisor, a therapist, a mentor, somebody who you would listen to on a, kind of, hey, what should I do about this? A more rational person. And the card being flipped over like this is suggesting that maybe this isn't such a good person to listen to. So, for example, if you have a therapist that you're kind of like not sure about, maybe this is the sign to get another one. Or if there's a friend that you keep going to for advice and they're not making you feel better, maybe find someone else to go to. But this is literally saying there's somebody in your life that you've been treating as kind of an authority figure and a mentor and a helper, who is maybe not giving you the best advice right now. That is what I've got. I hope that is helpful.
Okay. The
Helpful.
next one.
I can say yes.
Great.
So the next one we've got is for Megan. And I just wanted to know if I'm on the right path and making right decisions to better my family. My mind's been a tornado.
Oh, Megan, everyone's mind has been a tornado in 2026. It is the year for it. The month started off with a full moon. Then we had an eclipse. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde in a couple days. It's going to be followed by another full moon. I mean, we are really going through.
Don't we have two more eclipses like coming up too? Like,
Yeah.
don't we have a lunar eclipse or something like that? Or
February has just been so nuts with astrology. We are just in like the soup, Sometimes it's just, you're on the roller coaster and you have no choice but to just kind of go, you know.
Yeah, and January took forever.
It really did.
Oh man, January was like 4 years long. Some people said 2. I'm like, no, it was more like 4.
So, the first card that I'm pulling with regards to Megan's question, I am pulling the High Priestess card. High Priestess is like tarot and intuitive work. So it's saying that Megan is pretty intuitive herself. And if she's asking if she's on the right path, this is somebody who like normally would know if she's on the right path. And she's just like, feeling the energy. So the first thing I would say is join the club. It's a really important time for grounding. If you're doing crystals, the dark colored crystals are probably the better ones right now. Anything that are grounding meditations. It is just a tough time. Doing exactly what you're doing right now, checking in with some other place is a great way to kind of hone whether or not you're reading the energy correctly. With the retrograde coming up, I'm saying, next couple weeks, the schedule is going to do whatever. You're pulling the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is literally the card that says, good idea, fresh idea, new idea. And the fact that it's upright suggests correct decisions, good decisions. The fact that you are this intuitive a person to begin with, you would probably have to try really hard to make bad decisions. The things with decisions that impact your family, our family are our karma. And we never make all the people in our family happy, no matter what we do. That's kind of not the point. The point is to like grow and, appreciate the perspectives and things. But so starting off, yes, it sounds like you're making good decisions. You're also pulling the judgment card right next to that. So it's saying whatever decisions you're making are being judged, in this case, probably by outside people. I would just remind you that there are many perspectives to be had for any situation. You can't make everybody happy. If you have good intuition, you are being led to those decisions for reasons. And if these are important things and the decision making responsibility is falling on you as the intuitive person, then surely the universe has been sending you some signals that have been kind of affirming things on the way. Wait till this Mercury retrograde gets really, in swing in the next couple days, and then try to make some decisions that aren't really meant to be and see how that works out. And you'll remember pretty quickly about the flow state. You are pulling a reverse 2 of coins, which we saw in the other deck. This card came up again. This is work-life balance, so we're looking at money and we're looking at the energy that you're expending to get it. It's reversed right now, so this suggests to me that you are making some changes, and this judgment card is like maybe some changes that people don't understand or have some feelings about. The Three of Swords is a card that talks about separating relationships that do or did feel good. The Three of Swords, this can be like somebody's moving long distance, somebody's taking a new job, somebody is breaking off a relationship or a friendship, or they're going to stop hanging out at this place. There's this sense of there are people that I used to kind of hang out with and I'm not going to see them anymore. And it's because I chose not to see them anymore because I had to go do something else. And so again, this talks about these decisions. It's hard to leave people and things that are familiar. If there is one theme for 2026, this is the time that we are called to stop playing it safe in the areas of our life that no longer serve us and move forward and make the bold choice. So if you're making different decisions, again, this Ace of Swords suggests that they're good ones. You have a reversed King of Wands here. This sounds to me like an authority figure of some type. It's got a masculine energy, and I want to say this person maybe thinks that they're an authority, and really they're not. And they're just kind of lingering over this reading as like presence. That's really got nothing to do with you. This is just that person and who they are. And it wouldn't matter who you are or who was in your position. They would still kind of have this like grinchy sort of, you didn't check in with me. You don't know what you're doing. I know the best, blah, blah, blah. Um, you know, as the movie Scrooge said, scrape them off, Claire. Like, this is not anyone that you really need to be concerned with in the long run. You are also pulling in the next, what I'm getting is 7 months for this. And this is kind of where the reading is ending. So these two cards are reversed, meaning things that have not happened yet. One of them that's reversed, I'll just show it to you upright, is the Chariot. So Chariot moments are these pivotal moments in life where you have to make major decisions, and the things that you choose mean that you can no longer go back to the things that you didn't choose. And so, 7 months from now, approximately, you're going to have a big decision to make that is going to change the course of your life, and it is going to involve a reversed Knight of Cups. An upright Knight of Cups could be a child, a young person, involvement with children or young people, and there's this sense of a long-term responsibility. So something that you would be getting involved with and signing up for like 20 years. It's not a passing thing. It's more of a, big chunk of your life sort of thing. So if that shows up in the next 7 months, again, you're a super intuitive person. You're probably going to get signs along the way that'll point you in that direction. And if it doesn't seem like something that makes sense at first, I would say remember that we're in a 2-year Saturn cycle. And so if it doesn't make sense by, if this opportunity or this event comes up like 7 months from now, and you're not seeing all of the steps ahead of you and saying, I don't really understand how that gets me to this other place, right? I don't really understand how this, point A goes to point B, goes to point C. It feels like the rollout process attached to this is more of a 2-year time frame. So the 7 months from now would be kind of a starting point, but it would still be a significant amount of time before you would really see all the pieces fall together. The main thing is following your intuition when that moment shows up and recognizing it for what it is.
Okay.
I hope that was helpful.
So, we've got 2 more. Lynn, do you have time for 2
Yes,
more?
I do. Absolutely.
All right. Bianca's asked this a couple times. I didn't realize she was asking it the first because I'm slow, that's who I am. But it's a little vague, but we'll go with it. It just asks, "Are they sorry about what they have done to me?"
Are they sorry about what they've done to me? Ooh, okay. Okay, so we are pulling 4 cards that kind of jumped out here. Are they sorry for what they have done to me? Briefly, kind of an overview of the situation without getting into too many specifics, because the weight of the feeling, what they've done to me, it doesn't feel like a single incident to me, is what I'll say. It feels like somebody who has misbehaved in some way over and over and over again, and so it has a collective wound feel to it. So the 7 of Wands, this is what this person has done, the impact that it has, the wound that is looking to be healed. 7 of Wands is invasive. It invades your privacy. It invades your time and space and energy that is your time for you. This is somebody who interrupts and demands to be seen and heard and acknowledged. and just kind of wears somebody down. Um, like I said, it's heavy. I mean, if again, I don't want to get too far into what may or may not have happened here, but it doesn't feel like a, oh, somebody just kind of didn't know what they were doing and we're gonna like make up and then we're gonna be friends and all that kind of stuff. I question whether or not this is someone that you really want to have around, or around that often if you can help it. And the card that's coming up attached to that is a reversed magician. And it means two things. Number one, it means that this person does not have the capacity to feel the thing that you are hoping they would feel, and to acknowledge their wrongdoing, and to feel appropriately remorseful for that. This reverse magician is just saying there's so much energy there, there's so much they would need, and they don't have it. And it also acknowledges that, you know, on your end, you are not a magician. There is nothing you can say or do or could have said or done to make this person and this situation and where you are right now have ended in a different place. Um, and so I just want to acknowledge this is one of those scenarios that, we close and it doesn't feel satisfying. We don't necessarily get the closure that we want, but there is a way to look at somebody and say, hey, wherever they are on their path and wherever I am on my path, the distance is just too great in our evolution right now. And I wish they could have come to a better place, and I wish them well. I hope things improve for them in the future, but I need to focus on what serves me. And so um, this situation feels like something that can be let go of. I'm pulling the Hierophant card. In this case, this feels like a message that says either go to a church, a spiritual gathering, some sort of like group, but it's suggesting that you share a belief system with some people who can really be supportive in this way. And so there's all different ways you can kind of deal with how you're feeling about this. Therapy, meds, all of those things are great. I suggest trying as many things as you can, but this card is specifically saying there is a community that shares your values that can be a support system for you now to kind of process this. And finally, a reversed Eight of Wands. This says take your time. Um, you know, Even after the immediacy of a situation, do they feel regret? Are we going to move on? Are things going to change? Even after the immediacy of a situation changes, we can still have feelings that reverberate for years after we're in a new situation, a better situation, and we're overall happy with our lives. Sometimes those are the times where our nervous system and our brain says, hey, things look pretty great right now. Maybe now is a time that you can process some of that stuff that happened before. And so don't be afraid. Don't hesitate to keep feeling and keep healing this situation until it's done, no matter how long it takes, regardless of what anyone else thinks, or regardless of what time frame you feel like it should be on, because every moment that you spend with this and acknowledging the hurt that is there, and then taking steps to heal that, you are working for yourself. You are putting the investment into yourself. You are loving yourself, and you are raising your vibration such that situations like this person don't come back. Good luck.
Okay.
I hope
Well,
that's helpful.
thank you for that, Lynn. I know that one was pretty heavy. Going ahead, Jen.
And I was going to say, Bianca, no matter what, forgive yourself, love yourself, and it's okay to love somebody where they're at and to walk away from them. That's kind of what I was picking up, and I wanted to say that just forgive yourself and love yourself.
Yeah.
That's so important. And just love them where they're at. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to give them anything. Just put them aside and just leave them there. Just pat them on the head and say, okay.
And it's this is something that we've talked about a little before. Sometimes when conversations are too hard or impossible to have with somebody directly, there is nothing wrong with like sitting down, getting in your zen zone and like your meditation or your prayer space and saying, hey, I want my higher self to communicate with this person's higher self, the version of them that is their soul, the version of them that that is the person that we wish they were. And we can communicate with them that way and say, hey, it's time to let this go. I wish you love. I wish you light. We're going to cut this now and move forward. Thank you for meeting me here. Thank you for the lessons, and I will continue to honor the time we had together by working on my own wounds and healing myself. And I wish you healing also. And have faith that there are billions of people on the planet. And if somebody is looking for the healing with sincerity in their heart, they're going to find it. And it doesn't have to be you, it can be someone else.
All right. So we got one more for you,
All right.
Mr. Craig. I'm 4 weeks into grieving the loss of my 97-year-old mother, who I cared for the last 6 years. I'm scared of moving forward. Was my rock, only child. I have big life decisions to make soon. What's next?
Craig, I am so sorry for your loss. That is,
Very much so.
yeah, yeah. Um, you do have a lot of decisions that are coming up for sure. You have a lot of support for those decisions. Um, the first card that is coming up, and gosh, this has been a theme for a night, but we've got this reversed. Two of Pentacles again. And so it's acknowledging that this is a disruption. It's a disruption to your life. It's a disruption to your finances. It's a disruption to, things how you have known them up to this point. And we are also pulling an Ace of Wands. And so, yes, absolutely. Decisions need to be made. Processes need to be started. This is not like, somebody who's feeling anxiety and saying, gee, there's some stuff that maybe needs to be done. No, so the tasks are real. They need to be done. And the Ace of Swords says the decisions rest with you and solely with you. That said, there are some things that we can do. The first card that I'm pulling is a Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is referring to I'm going to say like your high school friends, your high school people that you knew as a teenager. And there is somebody in that mix who may be able to recommend an attorney. The thing that's jumping out of here is that you need somebody who has some legal training, who's a professional who can look at some different areas and come up with a game plan that makes sense, because it's really hard to look at, well, this is the money piece and this is the emotional piece and this is the other piece. Somebody needs to be able to look at that a little bit more holistically and understand what's possible. So suggestions, if you are in touch with like high school friends, this could be as simple as reaching out to your immediate friends. If you're on social media and you're able to keep in touch with people that way, that's an idea. But the first thing that's coming up in the reading is find your high school group, ask them for assistance in finding some sort of legal expert who can look at some key situations for you. You are also pulling a Four of Swords. And so Four of Swords is acknowledging that, obviously you're going through something that is extremely difficult and there's grieving involved. And this Four of Swords is acknowledging that. It's saying, hey, there is depression present. There is a decreased energy present. And the Four of Swords has a presence to it that doesn't necessarily evaporate overnight. The message behind this card is if you're feeling low right now, please don't assume that that's just going to go away in a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months. Take some steps now to manage whatever mood you may be feeling. If you haven't talked to your doctor yet, speak to them. This is a conversation that a lot of doctors have with people after they lose a loved one that they're used to having, saying, hey, here's someone I can refer you to, or maybe try this medication, or do you need help sleeping or whatever. But this Four of Swords is saying this is something that really needs to be dealt with, and not, you should not just assume, oh, hey, I'm grieving and like I'll be fine in a couple months. This says, please focus on this, even if this is a new area for you to focus on. You are pulling a reversed Three of Cups. And so the message behind this card is this is not the best time to start a new job or a new career. If there's a way to postpone, that makes sense. It's okay to be upfront and honest. If there was an opportunity you were pursuing that now you're thinking, this is not the best time, just be upfront. I've had a death in the family. I need some more time to attend some things. Can I touch back? Can I touch base 6 months from now? It's okay to put those things on hold. If they were meant for you, those opportunities will be there when you get back to them. You're pulling a justice card, justice being represented by the scales. This is another reference to, I said in that first card, try and find yourself a legal expert. This presence of the justice card suggests that there are legal documents
He's running from me.
to sign that you need to be aware of. And I would also say with this Four of Swords being here, alluding to depression and a lower mood, sometimes dealing with heavy emotions like that makes it harder to catch all the details with documents and things like that. So again, it's not that you need help because you're a helpless person. It's just acknowledging that right now, not all the cylinders are going to be firing for very good reason, and making sure that this is something that's important, that you have somebody else who's an expert keep an eye on. And I would say finally, you are pulling a reversed Three of Wands. This refers to an opportunity to move, to physically pick yourself and your possessions up and change locations. And what this card is saying is it's cautioning against making any sort of moves that would be permanent. It's saying that you probably have a 3-year time span, and then you could be looking at another physical move. So don't lock yourself in document wise with any kind of situations that you wouldn't be able to get out of 3 years from now, should you choose to relocate. And that is what is coming out of the reading. I hope this has been helpful.
Every time you said high school, I was thinking, God, does he have a high school reunion coming up? It is reunion season. And every time you said that, I was like, reunion, like support group too. Like, you touched on it, you just lost your mother. Go find a support group.
So
ask your doctor.
Group therapy is amazing. I had wandered into a group therapy session almost by accident, and I was shocked. I thought to myself, I'm a very private person. I don't like to talk about how I feel. I definitely don't like to, talk to people I don't know about how I feel. The last thing I'm going to do is sit in some group and be like, it's amazing. Number one, how quickly that group forms the safe space, and it's like, hey, we got your back.
Yep.
And incredible how you can show up to a group session and say nothing with your camera off, and boy, is somebody talking about something that you've been through or that you have experienced, and they speak all of your feelings to life, and then the room comes in with all of their support, and it can be absolutely one of the most healing things, and so counterintuitive, during the times where we just want to, like, curl up under the blankets and turn the lights off and go into our cave, that sometimes, something like a Zoom session is amazing.
It makes you feel not alone. When they speak those words and you go, you know what? Oh Lord, that hits right here. And then it hits you right in your soul and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I can breathe. I'm not the only person out there, because we tend to think what? That we're alone in the grieving, we're alone in this, we're alone in that, and you're not. It just might be a different situation, same feelings.
Craig, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. There they are.
Phil, every time, Lynn, you get me with something. Okay, every time you get me with something. So, um, and Lynn, tell people a little bit about Footnotes Tarot before we give away the 1 hour, the 1 hour reading.
So, Footnotes Tarot, that is my business. I'm a professional tarot reader in Brooklyn. I was born and raised in Northeast Pennsylvania in the Poconos, and I've been reading professionally since 2013. I read tarot. I am a Reiki practitioner. I can read auras and tea leaves and crystals and, anything that really has a message in it. I'm happy to take a shot at. And so, the prize that we're giving away is an hour reading with me. Typically, a full length tarot reading is like 30, 35 minutes, but in an hour, we can work in some astrology, we can work in some crystals, we can, like, hey, have a cup of tea and do it too. So, I'm really looking forward actually to this session, because I feel like it's something that's going to allow me to bring kind of like the full offering, and lay it all out there for someone. So, good luck, everyone.
So, but
You're
here's the caveat. All right, here's the caveat. Whoever wins this, you have to come on the third Wednesday of next month with us, and you have to talk about your session with Lynn. You have to come on and let everybody know how good of a time it was, and it's only on the pack channels. But whoever wins this, you've got to come on and join us the third Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. East. So that's the only caveat. So we've got our wheel of giving here, and what we're going to do is we're going to make this all big, and you can see some of the names. And what happened here is anybody who made a comment throughout the day is going to be in this wheel. So somebody who's made a comment today, or actually it's for the last 3 days. So when I started this, but so are we ready to go here?
Ready when you are.
All right, I guess I could touch the right thing. I was going to touch the regular or the recording screen, and it didn't work. So, but here we go. Joanne Stewart, you are our winner of a free 1 hour tarot reading. So, um, congratulations on that, Joanne. I will have Adrian reach out to you, because I know that you guys have a connection. So I will have Adrian reach out to you and make that connection, and she will introduce you to Lynn. But ladies, I want to just I want to thank you guys very much for what you've done, for being part. Jan, you come on here every year with Adrian, and you guys give me a little bit of a break, um and I caught the very end of what you know of earlier, and I appreciate, how much I appreciate you to begin with, but I appreciate your vulnerability, and I appreciate you participating in this every year. So I love you, and I always hope the best, and look, you're one of the strongest people I know. So, and I know that we're going through, as a group of friends, we're going through a lot right now. We do have a We have a friend who's pretty sick right now. So, and all the best to her. I don't want to say her name in privacy reasons. What's that?
I'll say. I mean, Stephanie, because she needs all the love and the thoughts and the prayers. Just it's,
Yeah.
we're at that critical stage, right? So
Um, this isn't, she didn't have her tonsils taken out.
no,
So,
no,
you know,
no.
this, so please, everybody, please give your thoughts, prayers, whatever you do, uh, to Stephanie. She does need them. She's been sick for a long time. But she's been a really good friend for a while now. So,
Three
you know,
years.
yeah, yeah. Well, when we went to go look for that bus accident,
Yeah.
that location for the bus accident, and that's the first time I met her. So, from the '60s.
Yeah. She took she took the kids when I was going through my major medical, and if it wasn't for you guys and for Jackie and Stephanie, I don't know if I would be sitting here. So I mean, yeah, this is it's probably why I'm a little bit emotional tonight. Is that
Well, and I know it could have been easy for you to just say, you know what, you can't do it this year, but you didn't. You stuck in and you helped us out. So, look, that's kind of what we're here for, is because we've got to surround each other in tough times. We got to stop walking away in situations when people need us. We've got to stop thinking, we've got to stop having that thought that, somebody else is going to take care of this. And I don't like doing a lot of cussing on my podcast, but that's bullshit. No, we can't let other people do what we can do.
right?
We can be there for each other. Nobody else is lining up to be there for us. Okay. Regardless on who you think is going to come and rescue us, there is no, shining knight right now. There's just not. This is us. This is what we've got to do. And that's what we're trying to do. That's the reason I created this monstrosity of a podcast 4 years ago, was to try to find a way to come together and work together and make people get out of this ridiculous mode of, I can't talk to this person. They're a different religion. I can't talk to this person. They voted for the different idiot. None of that shit matters. What matters is we're all human beings. We all bleed. We all need. And if we work together, we don't have to bleed so deeply. We don't need to need so heavily. So this is a chance for us all to really come together, and let's really start thinking about people who we've uh, you know who we've wronged, who we've lost. And remember, life is fleeting, okay? I mean, hell, I think I was in my 20s like 6 weeks ago, and now I'm like ancient. So, I know this because I look at my kids and I'm like, there's no way in hell you're my kid. I mean, I'm not old enough. I'm barely as old as you are. Yeah.
I think that too. And then all of a sudden I hear grandma, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have to raise you. I just get to spoil you.
Yeah. Yeah. That was actually kind of funny when Free came in. Um, uh, yeah, Jeremy, that it is the old Musketeers thing, all for one for all, but yeah, Justice came in to see us, and he mentioned something about, Dad, you like the grandkids because you just get to spoil them and give them away. And I'm like, well, yeah, I would have liked you a lot better if I got to do that too. But
Oh,
I'm
I make no qualms.
joking.
Oh no, no. My grandkids are top of the line. Okay, they're. Yeah, no. The only reason why I had kids was to have grandkids. So
Well, so Lynn, you were very passionate on the family networking, and you wanted to make a point about you know about helping people in a financial matter. let's revisit that now that we're in a different group, because I really think that's important as well.
Are we talking about college scholarships?
Well, yeah, you remember when I asked you to bring up the
Yeah,
nonprofit?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so basically, what I was saying, I do tarot reading now. In my prior career, I was a college financial aid administrator. So I was one of the people that sat down and helped people fill out the FAFSA and get the student loans and all that kind of stuff. If you Google my name, I was a whistleblower. I mean, there's a, whole big thing. Um, and one of the things we were talking about earlier in the family networking session was that Santa Papa John was creating this list of scholarships that veterans would have access to. And we talked about how, you don't know who people know. Just because, I am a tarot reader now doesn't mean I don't have other things in my life. And that's true of everybody. And so when you're trying to put something out there, hey, I need to find a person who does this, or does anyone know anyone who does this, or I'm trying to meet these types of people, it's important to put it out everywhere because, for us to focus on connecting that web and connecting our networks. I had mentioned that we are in the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is about the collective. It's about, you know, forging a larger community, bringing everybody together, being exposed to the different beliefs and the different perspectives, and allowing ourselves to evolve with the new information and the new experiences that we have, and how technology is a part of this. And so, yeah, I think it's really important that we don't just look at ourselves in the context of what we're doing right now or what our focus is right now, but look at ourselves in the full context of, the life we have led, the experiences we've had, the people we've known, the areas we've gotten a glimpse into, and understand that all of that is important. None of that has been wasted. All of that has something connected to it that needs to be put back into the world or extracted from the world. And yeah, I really like family networking for that reason, because I see where it's much easier for people to kind of network when they all have one thing in common, but then having just that one thing in common kind of becomes its own bubble. And people get, stuck in that and they don't expand as much. Whereas, the family networking, we're meeting people doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and one of the what really what you were just saying is it says a lot about what we've been saying, this whole day. It's and for the last couple weeks, it's the never shut up. Okay, you've got to continue to talk. You've got to continue to tell your stories, your pains, your wins, your losses, especially your losses. For God's sakes, your losses could save someone's life, because there's someone out there right now that's sitting there beating their head against a wall, and they're looking for any solution. And if they can hear how you navigated a closed door, you could be saving a life. Look, you should never shut up, because silence never helped anyone.
Silence is deafening.
Yeah, and it's just that's what we're trying to get into people. That's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to make sure that everybody understands that this is not a problem that's too far gone for us if we pull our resources, if we start pulling together. And if we, if we all get on one side, if we all get on one side of this and we decide that, I don't care who you are, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care what race, what religion, what social aspect. I don't care about any of that. You need help. We're all on this side. We're going to push one direction. We can help everyone. We just have to be on the one side, and look, the few that are on the other side that want to push back against it, They get run over. Oh well. Yeah, mm, whatever. Run them over. That's fine. They don't want to help. They're not going to be missed. So,
Tip the scales, right? Put the favor back onto our side. Put the favor back into surviving. Put put the humanity back into being human.
right. You know, and one of the things that we've been saying since literally 2:30 this morning, okay, Mountain Time, 2:30 this morning, when I started this. Well, I actually started at 2, but my first guess was 2:30. We can sit there and hope that a new bunch of politicians is going to come into office and make sweeping changes and going to make everything crazy and everything's going to be perfect and everything's going to be wonderful. Keep thinking that. That's fine.
Crush
Or
those
we can,
right.
yeah, yeah,
That-
yeah.
no.
Or we can take and we can start working together. One of those can actually happen. Only one of them. And, I'll tell you right now, it ain't the politicians because there ain't a single one of them who give a damn. And I don't care what side you believe. So I don't, there's none of them who know your name. There's none of them who care to know your name. Unless you're paying them, they don't care. So, this is the time when we have to pull our heads out of our asses and start aiming, start looking forward and start working together. So, but ladies, Lynn, I have kept you so much later, and I promised, and I know you probably got to go out and snow shovel and do all that other stuff. So,
No, we actually, I learned today New York City apparently has a squad of volunteer snow shovelers. Volunteer, they get paid. They get paid $19 an hour apparently. But when we have these big snowstorms, someone has to go out and shovel, the sidewalks to the bus stops and the, trains and everything else. And I think they said there were going to be something like 800 shovelers on duty today just to start clearing the way. But I am
And that's
one
why
of them. I'm just gonna look out the window and wave, and
I'll tell you this. You say $19 an hour, and I'm sitting there thinking, in Colorado, that's not a bad living. In
that
New
would
York,
no, that
that's
would
like making $6.75 an hour.
yeah, yeah.
all I
Come
have
on down, bring your shovel.
Yeah. So,
that is the reason why I moved from Wisconsin. I am never gonna shovel that snow again, baby. Mark my words. And if I do, oh Lord help me. You
I,
hear
I
me
still,
complain from where you're at. All right. You're gonna be like, oh, Janice is shoveling snow. I
I,
feel it in there.
I, I do. I still remember the first time when Adrian moved down here. She saw snow. She was like, "What the shit is that?" She was she had none of it. She was like, "No, I'm done."
This is malarkey. I don't want to go out there and shovel that snow. I pay taxes. Somebody needs to come. No, no, baby, it's the law. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So, but anyway, so yeah, Lynn, tell people how they can get a hold of you, please.
You can find me at Footnotes Tarot. All my contact information is on that website. You can go to the Community Pay It Forward website and look through the business partners. I'm there, so pretty easy to find.
Yep. And if you hire Lynn, if you wanna pay for an hour reading, Lynn gives us a referral for going through Community Pay It Forward. That's not where it stops, though. We have a group of people who have asked for help. Okay. So we ask you to pick which one you want to support. And with that referral that Lynn gives us, we give 75% of that referral to someone who's asked us for help. That's the way that Community Pay It Forward is trying to make a difference in this world. And I have the greatest partners in the world, like Lynn, who allow me to take and make their business stand out because they care and they want to make a difference in this world. So, Lynn, I love you. Thank you so very much. You are. I just saw my reflection on the thing, and I thought one of the dogs got back down here. So
I love you too, Zach.
I think I'm starting to see stuff.
Oh
And,
no,
and
man! I love your energy. Like Yeah, yeah. I'll have to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. It is always an honor and a pleasure to be here, and I love the energy that everyone brings and the enthusiasm for what I do and the way we can have these really profound conversations. I appreciate you guys so much. So thank you very much, and Zach, sweet dreams whenever you finally get to bed.
I I might be dreaming already. I don't know. Um, so, like I said, I'm starting to hallucinate a little bit, which is scary. But uh, only what 3 hours to go. So
Zach, thank
uh,
you for
I,
having me on.
I'm not crying. I'm not crying.
He
So,
is. He is.
but and Jan, um, please, please, please remember you don't have to take this on. We are here for you. We love you. Um, that kid that you let us kidnap for a while, uh, we appreciate, we appreciate the family. We appreciate being a family with you. So just remember that we're all here. Okay.
And if
So
anybody needs anything, Jan Lynn on Facebook, hit me up. I'm always available to talk. So that's what I do.
yeah. So, all right, ladies, thank you very much. And you all have a great evening. Lynn, go get some sleep. We will be back at this in the third Wednesday of March. We will be doing live readings just like this on the PAC channel. Adrian's the co host, and we sit here and we do this for an hour and we have a lot of fun and amaze a lot of people. So, but thank you very much, Lynn. Have a great
Very
evening.
welcome. Be blessed, everyone. Take care.
All right.
Night.
Thank you, Jan. I
Thank you.
appreciate it and I love you.
Love you
So you
too.
take care of yourself.
Yep. Love everybody where they're at, and you have sweet dreams when you get there.
Bye.
Bye.
So our next guest reached out to me the other night, and I haven't had a chance to really talk to her too much, and I'm looking forward to it. And I was watching her in the little green room, and she went and grabbed a friend of hers, and I'm really curious about this friend. He kind of looks like my father, so um, I don't know if it's the bald head or if it's the buggy eyes, but Kat, you've got a strange little buddy there. Here, let me try to there we go.
Yes,
That's a weird balloon.
that is my second Al. He is Al Leon, and he has traveled a great way to spend time with me. Here, I can help him join us a little bit, maybe. But my husband actually brought the first one in. That's the wrong way. There you go. But he has been with me since I started Paranormal Experience 10 years ago, and this is the latest rendition. The first one was blue, and so he got a little bit too cold and just shriveled right up.
Yeah.
so, so I was at an event in Gulf Shores, and they had alien stuff. And since I also host Fate Magazine Radio, then and go to alien cons and all that kind of stuff, it was just perfect. So I brought him home too.
So what was it about Mission for Healthy Heroes that caught your attention?
Well, it was the name actually, because I have a lot of people that I care a lot about who are heroes, and my grown-ups aren't here anymore. They've um, moved on to their next experience. But it was really funny because my dad was Special Forces Green Beret Airborne, and he missed being shipped to Vietnam by a week because they built a new jump training center here in Birmingham. And my dad was, like I said, airborne, and he was really good at it. And they pulled him out of his unit to be a trainer there. And my godfather was his best friend and they were in the same unit until my dad was transferred, and Mac Wayne shipped out like the next week, and he didn't come home. So a bunch of their friends suffered a lot of trauma because of my dad. I think felt relief that he had been transferred, but guilt that he had lost his best friend and he wasn't there with him when that happened, and that kind of thing. And then my grandpa kept talking about being in the good to say that, but talked about when he had been in the military during the Great War, and nobody believed him
Yeah.
because he drank and he was a railroad engineer. He was always on the road or on the tracks, and so it wasn't until he passed away and people found his military papers that they actually were like, oh, well, he should have had a military funeral kind of a thing. And that was in my own family, you know. So there was that lack of respect, and he had Alzheimer's very badly at the end. My grandmother had died, and um, he only knew that she wouldn't wake up to eat breakfast, that kind of thing. So, there's a lot there. And I have a lot of friends who are military personnel now, or their spouses are. And of course, when your spouse is serving, you're serving too.
Right. Very
And
much so.
it really is. And, the spouse that's at home is single parenting and doing, all the stuff that goes with that. And it's a hard life. And, I have a friend whose husband was a commander of a submarine base, and he was gone for months at a time, and which was funny because I never understood how he fit in a submarine anyway. He was like perfect. But so I know that while she is the biggest cheerleader for everybody in the world, I knew that there were times that she was really had to have been struggling. And so, you want to, physical health is one thing. There's a lot more ways to get help with that than with mental struggles. And, I can actually relate to that. I just found out that I have adult ADHD. I thought I had Alzheimer's. So I will take the ADHD diagnosis, right? But there's so many people walking around with mental struggles that don't know where to go. They don't know where, even if you have insurance, you don't necessarily know where your resources are. And insurance companies are notorious for not really wanting to guide you. They'll pay for it if they have to, but they don't want to guide you. And it's a very difficult path to follow, to find your way on. And so many police officers, are military now. And it's, there's a lot of people working for public good at this time with great big old targets on their backs. And I would find it very hard to get up and go to work that day. And I think it would be a lot worse when I came home, because you're out there and you're laying it down every day, and people want to kill you, want to hurt you, want to, they get so caught up in their anger at situations that they blame individuals instead of realizing that that's just a person who is at work. Whether it's cops on the interstates, cops that are doing drug busts, whether it's people that are, right now, riot control. There's so much stuff. It's very hard to wear a uniform right now. And it shouldn't be. Nobody wants to go to work and be the person that's hated.
I
There's
think, yeah,
serious repercussions if you don't do your job.
and
So,
I think right now, in which you and I, we briefly did talk about this part that I believe that you're going to have good and bad in all facets of life.
everywhere.
You're going to have your great cops. You're going to have cops that deserve to be in prison, just flat
But
out, no matter
always
what they are.
the case, because there's so much, there's bribes, there's, you know, here, just turn around and, you didn't see this.
Hmm.
And a lot of times, if they don't take that bribe and go on, they're going to suffer physical disappearance. I mean, depending
Yeah,
on who's doing the talking.
yeah,
But it's not anything new.
and unfortunately, right now there's people being put in just indefensible situations.
And they're
You know,
impossible.
and so there are good people getting caught up in bad situations. There's also bad people causing worse situations.
Yeah,
So
that's the way
and
it's always been, and it's always going to be that way.
yeah,
If you look back at, you know, people forget, I think, how good it is here. Because if you're going to be arrested, incarcerated, whatever, the odds are real slim you're going to die while you're in custody. I mean, we don't have a habit of just taking people and putting them in the middle of a field and taking them all down. And that is the reality in countries that do not have the right to protest your government. Dictatorships are real. We don't have one, but they are very real. And you don't have to be that much of an enemy to be taken out. So if you're a real soldier for your country and some, you know, true Nazi comes along, they can take you out if you don't take other people out. People over time immemorial have had to make active choices. And when I can't imagine that when anybody is going home right now, that they feel good about the day they had. Even if they were exhibited exemplary behavior, they're still going to be hated because they wear a uniform. And I think that's hard to deal with. And that's National Guard, that's, you know, military, that's Border Patrol, that's regular street cops, that's detectives, anybody that's considered to be part of that structure, you know, that's got to be really hard to go home after and not, you know, want to drink a bottle, you know, and that's where suicide can come in, and because they feel like there's nothing that they can do to feel like they're respected, or because there are laws that have to be reinforced or enforced, and it's so hard. I can't imagine wearing those shoes.
yeah, and look, there's a point when we have to also hold the community accountable. Um,
There is.
in Minnesota, look, the death of that congresswoman and her husband and their dog.
Oh my god, that was ridiculous. They even took out the freaking dog.
They took out, and
I mean, that was so bad.
the murder in which I'm not. I'll admit right now, I'm not a Charlie Kirk fan, but for him to be shot because of what he's saying, you don't have to like what people are saying, but god damn it, people fought for that right for him to say it.
That's right. And he wasn't saying anything hideous. He was putting maybe a little accountability out there. And, freedom of speech and freedom of religion is the right. And I don't care if you're a mullah or if you're Charlie Kirk. Your freedom of religion is immaculate here.
Yeah,
Until you start harming others, physically harming others, then, it's like the sex crimes and then, if you're doing Sharia killings, that's not okay. We don't have
Yeah,
that here,
yeah.
you
See,
know.
my biggest one of my biggest gripes is that, you know what, freedom of religion is a perfect thing. Your freedom of religion. I've
Yeah,
also got my freedom of religion,
absolutely.
and I
Well, I
don't,
mean, most
and
people wouldn't agree with mine
yeah,
here
well,
in the South, you know.
and And you know what? Mine is I'm curious about all religions.
Hmm.
I don't belong to a structured religion. I am
Yeah.
multi-curious. I love learning about everything. At the beginning of
Yes.
every month, I do a segment where I talk about every holiday that's coming up through that month. No matter
That's
what the
excellent.
religion, no matter what it is, I talk about every religion and a holiday that's coming up. And I do it because, you know what? I think that we owe people of different cultures, we owe them that respect. I mean, we
And that's
expect
what it
them to,
is.
yeah, we expect them to appreciate us. Why can't we show a little bit of respect for them? And
Well,
I'm
uh,
not a guy who's all look, I sound very, very liberal at times. I am not.
well,
I
here I sound pretty liberal too. It's
uh,
okay.
I am a proud independent. Um,
Hmm.
I'm kind of being pushed away from independent, but uh, but I will never believe that one side has it right, and I don't remember ever allowing sheep to vote. Because if you can sit there and say one side's got it right and the other side is all crazy, well, you're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Nobody has it all right.
But you still have the right to vote.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
you do. Yeah, you
you know,
do. Yeah, you do. I mean, look,
I get what you're saying though, because there's so many people that are screaming from the rooftops about all kinds of things. And you're being lambasted from every side. Yeah, I can't even imagine what kids feel like right now. And then you have, I mean, my daughter is an educator, and I don't know how she does it because I used to sub, and that was tough, right? I
yeah.
just was like, no. But, you just kind of, you sit back and you watch, and she's in elementary. I can't even imagine trying to work in a high school right now. And a junior high with all those hormones rampaging, and nobody knows what they want to be, nobody knows what they want to do, but they're absolutely positive they have to know right now. You know, because society pushes everybody from, you know, you have to make your mind up. You have to commit to this. This is, the only way it can go. So it's just so terrible. Everybody
Uh,
needs to try to find out who they are.
I I personally think that everybody ought to take their time to do anything.
I
And you know what? I was one of those kids. I couldn't wait to get out of school. I could not wait to get to the point where you know where I could make my own decisions and I could screw up my own life myself.
Well, I did an
Apparently.
excellent job of that. So,
Oh, I did too. I did too. I started out of the gate. I mean, I ran headfirst into a lot of things when I was younger. So,
indeed.
um, and that's kind of the reason why I have the face of a pug now. I ran into a lot of things, but
You're
look,
funny.
here's the truth, and everyone, we have to, and just to let you know, my son is a teacher, but my
Mhm.
son went to Japan to teach English to children with special needs. And
That's
he has told me, Dad, I would come home, but I would never be a teacher if I came home
oh,
because parents will not let kids learn.
well,
We can't
and
even
parents don't
agree.
even support when they want to learn.
Yeah, well,
I
and
mean,
we can't even agree what history is anymore. And that just floors me. I'm a fan of history.
I am
So
too.
I love history. I am a history honk. So, um, but yeah, you know what, Braxton, I'm glad that I got, you know, that happened to me. It was actually funny. Earlier, I was talking about how I had a guest on much earlier today, and he was talking about how he runs a program that teaches sales that. Thanks, Jeremy. But he runs a program that is it's sales by neurology, okay, and using neurological uh, ways to sell things. And one of the
Sure,
things that
yeah.
he brings up is that schools didn't teach us, and they didn't. Schools didn't teach us. What they did is they sit there and they took and crammed a whole bunch of stuff in your head and said,
Mhm.
basically put two corks in your ears and said, hold this until test day.
Yeah.
And then remove the corks and let it come out onto a piece of paper and hope to God that you got it. And then they don't care if you got it right, if you remembered that at all. It wasn't until I got out of school and I found my love for history,
Mhm.
and now I can sit here and rattle off things that, if they would have allowed me
Mhm.
to tell them, okay, I think I like history, and I would have been
Yes.
able to follow that, there's no telling where we could have been. So we're still teaching our kids, like, what, the best thing to do is throw a bunch of stuff at them and see what sticks. Guess what's going to stick? Nothing.
No. Well,
Nothing.
the things that they're interested in,
Well, yeah.
the
Yeah.
things that seem fun, and
So
that's about it.
but yeah, I mean, and learning about this sales and the how, the neurological sales methods has been very cool, in which I don't get involved in sales a lot. I own my business. I should get involved in sales a little bit more, but I don't. My thing is, I want to be a storyteller. I want to tell people your story. I want to tell people who you are. I want people to know who you are and come to you and say, you know what? I heard about you. I think I want to get to know more.
Yeah.
What can I do? Hey, yeah, I heard this funny thing about you. Now, what do you do for business? And that conversation can be had. And then we turn that business into a referral, which turns into a donation. That's my company. Okay. When after my motorcycle accident, my first thought was I was going to get into event planning. And I started thinking of all the things that I could do that were different than other event planners, and all these wonderful things I could bring from the biker world, and all these, wait a minute, I don't like people near enough to be an event planner. Okay. I've been married 3 times. Nobody wants a Zach Clayton wedding. My wife's, not even Adrian, has ever asked my opinion on anything to do with the wedding. Okay. She knew that you know, Megadeth first dance probably wasn't going to go over very well with her. So, yeah. So it didn't matter. So what I did is I tried to think of a way that we could make your business count for more, and that's what I do. And so I kind of flake off when it comes to sales because I just want to tell stories.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what you do, and tell us how we can help you.
Oh my goodness. Well, um, I do a lot, but but it's not. None of it's really hard. No, it is because organizational skills have not been my thing. Nobody really knew why. Now we do. So we're working on that, right? But and I'm 64 and I just found this out. It's so bizarre. But tools are your friends. I think that I love doing my shows. I do I've done paranormal experience for 10 years and I've had the best time with that. And then I got deplatformed. I don't really know what happened to cause the deplatforming. I think I got hacked and somebody did bad things. But I'm still on YouTube and all that other kind of stuff, but not Facebook. So got back on that. And I've been really fortunate, even before I started doing Fate magazine, radio, which actually opened a lot of doors just because of the name, right? Fate magazine's been around since 1947. So people know what that is. The first story was the Kenneth Arnold UFO experience, the first man that reported seeing them when he was flying. It was really a cool thing. But I I love all of the historic things. You know, the ancient alien stuff is so cool, not because of aliens, because I think that's a given, but because of the history behind them. I was lucky enough to get to spend time listening to Eric von Daniken. I got to hear him lecture like 3 or 4 times in one summer. That was bizarre and so cool. And so I really am blessed, way beyond what I ever expected, to be able to do that kind of thing. Um, what I really like, yes, I am. But it's so fun that yeah, like I'm fixing to go in April to Eureka Springs, Arkansas to do the Ozark Mountain UFO Conference. And I'll be covering it. I'll be interviewing the speakers. I got to talk to and get to know a gentleman who is from Bosnia, who is uncovering pyramids that nobody knew about because they were covered
Hmm.
in trees and mud. And yeah, now that would be a cool thing to be able to go and do. That's what I need, a ticket to Bosnia. My husband won't let me go. It's some more. But to be able to work opening and clearing these places, kids go and do that from school. You know, college kids go out there and that's their summer thing. It's so neat. But I didn't even know there were pyramids in Bosnia until I was hearing Dr. Sam talk about this stuff. And you know, I really think that you ask me what I need. I don't really think I need very much. I'm happy. I, I get to do my shows. I get to talk to interesting people. I'm here talking to you about, you know, Mission for Healthy Heroes. That's something that matters to me. So, how blessed am I to be here talking to you about that? So,
Well,
I think that I think what I would like to do would be just to speak at conferences because I've got so much information and so much experience, but I don't ever talk to people about that because I'm talking to other people about what they do. So sometimes I feel a little bit unseen, but not in a bad way. Just that, you know, I have stuff I'd like to share. Is that what you were talking about? Because
yeah,
that's
yeah. I mean, look, there you
happy.
once again, as I was saying earlier, I truly live in a state of I think we should never shut up. I think that we need to tell people what we're looking for. There's always going to be someone out there that you don't know what they know. Like Lynn said earlier, there could be somebody out there right now looking for speakers who is just flipping through for 2 seconds on YouTube and they hear you talk and they're going to be like going, done. So it's one of those things that we really, really hope. And I wanted to bring this up, Braxton. You mentioned her tree of life, and I saw that too. This is our logo for the Come Together Compass, and I wanted to show you this because we use that tree of life, and you can't really see it, but we use it inside the middle of the logo for the Come Together Compass. So you can't see it too well, I guess, on this. Well, I can't see it very well on my computer, but yeah, we use the Tree of Life. That's been
Yeah.
part of community Dare to Care for a long time. So, and we just took and we made it. We incorporated it into the compass, and the compass is really what we're here to try to promote today because
Yes.
it's our program to take and help everyone.
Mhm.
That's our goal. Our goal is to make sure that we can take care of people. Kate, that's what you were
Yes.
talking about. There are things that we can do for everyone every day, and we
Yes.
walk past them. And
I know. And we don't even look at them.
yeah, you
You know,
know,
people are so unseen.
yeah, and look, here's the truth, okay? I mean, uh, I usually end my podcast by saying, if you have an extra hoodie that no longer fits you, don't take it and put it in a yard sale. Don't take it and give it to a thrift store. Take and put it in your car and give it to somebody out there that's struggling with the elements. If
Yes.
you make too much food one night, you know, don't wait till it spoils and throw it away because nobody eats leftovers. Throw it in the old hillbilly Tupperware, zap it in the microwave for a couple seconds. Take it to a neighbor who doesn't get out much, or take it to that person who's standing on the street corner. It means these small acts mean nothing to you in the long run. Nothing,
Yeah.
but they could save lives. And these are the
Literally.
small
Literally,
things
if
we're
it's the
doing.
person
Yeah,
in the street corner.
yeah. These are
It's a
just
lot of starvation.
yeah, and these are things that well, think about somebody freezing to death. Just
Yes.
having that extra hoodie could help keep them warmer, a little warmer. So I mean,
You
look,
know, I am the world's worst about buying. I don't wear hoodies. I
yeah,
just, I did have tons of them. And I started doing that, just toss it, give it some, and that's not, I mean, I don't go into, I'm not going to go into a dangerous situation to do that. But if
no,
somebody looks like they need one and they're cute hoodies, because I have this buying addiction for hoodies. I don't know why. But I did keep my dear person behind me one though, because that one I'll wear. But I just I like helping people. I think it's something that's really underrated because
helping people. Yeah, look, helping
we
people
stay
is
inside.
proven. Helping people is proven to be one of the best things you can do for your own sanity, for your own health.
Yes.
Helping someone else is something that is going to take and make you complete. And it's
Yeah.
amazing to me that we have forgotten that as a human species a lot of times, that we've become, we were talking, people have been talking earlier about how, time, we're all caught up in this concept of time. And I gotta go, I gotta run, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. Ooh, stop. Technology and everything else, you need to make sure that you're doing stuff that makes you feel better.
You
Because
need
if
to make sure you're going
you
outside.
yeah,
Yeah, leave your environment and go outside. That's why the nuclear family isn't as close as one would think they would be all living in the same house because they all live in separate rooms.
yep,
And it's like neighborhoods are not what they were even 10 years ago because people are there's unless you live in a very special place. Everybody comes home from work, goes inside, sits in front of the TV, might eat something, might bring something home and stuff it in their face. They don't really visit, they don't really socialize with their family, much less any of their community. And community is what keeps us sane. If you're not, there's a little town over to the side of us. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, in the city of Birmingham. One of the suburbs does a a full day for their community. We have stuff that's with dogs. I'm down to 2 dogs now, but um, you can take my dogs are not very social. The ones I have now are not very social. But there's places that you can go and you can do a whole, doodah days is all about dogs here. And that's in downtown Birmingham at one of the parks. Community isn't just your family. And what if you have a horrible family? That happens a lot where people just don't get along, especially as their kids go into adolescence and stuff. I had a daughter that didn't speak to me for like 2 years, but and we were best friends, and it was just a situational thing. And I heard a Kenny Chesney song one day, that was knowing you, which is knowing you probably, sitting on a beach somewhere. And I sent it to her. I said, "This is so much fun. This song makes me think of you." And from that point on, she was like, "Well, we've had some great adventures." Yeah. She said, "Well, why don't you come here?" She had moved out of state. She said, "Why don't you come here and let's have some more?" So, you know, you just keep reaching out, and you don't give up on friends. You don't give up on kids. You don't give up. Sometimes you don't get a choice about doing that. But when you have the choice, that's just part of helping each other. You're helping yourself. But she wasn't happy with that situation either. But sometimes with that life experience, you don't know how to fix that.
Yeah.
So, you know, you
Well,
just have to reach outside of yourself sometimes. And we're so insular, you know, it's hard.
I made mention um, earlier today that I have some of the men that are the most important to me, and we couldn't be further apart politically if
Yeah.
we tried. We just couldn't. We couldn't be further apart if we tried. But there's not a single day that goes by that we don't talk, hug each other, tell each other we love each other, and walk away. Never mad. We're never mad because it's not worth getting mad over.
Well, it's not worth being
My relationships have never been worth fights, about differences. And right now, and no, I wasn't trying to draw a comparison there. I was just saying I
just
see.
right, though.
Yeah, I see friends talking about how, well, my kid's not talking to me because I blah blah blah, or I said this or I said that, and it's like, well,
Fix it.
fix it. Yeah, tell your
I
kid,
mean,
you know what? I'm proud of you for having your own opinion. I don't have to agree with your opinion. I'd never have to agree with your opinion. I don't have to like
because
the
I have
things
the
that
right
you
to my
like.
own opinion. I
That's
mean,
right.
everybody has that right.
Yeah, yeah, and we need to, like I said, it's right now. It gets pretty dangerous having conversations with people. You don't know who's where,
Yes.
and
Well, and you don't
especially
know how their thought
if
process
you don't know
works.
which one of them's going to blow up, and you don't know which one's going to go anywhere. So people just don't have conversations anymore. So, and which is just ridiculous. And like I said, I am the guy who promotes never shutting up. So not having a conversation with me, that doesn't go over well. I'm still going
Here
to talk
either.
to you. So
Yes. And I'm that way too, though. I'm not confrontational. If I'm, you know, I will voice my opinion, usually if asked, but depending on the scenario, I don't really have to be asked. It just depends. But it usually goes better for the other person if I am asked or if I
yeah,
just ask for it. But
absolutely.
well, I mean, I'm old. I have opinions. I have thoughts.
You know what? And like I said, it as they say, let your, I'm just going to say, let your flag fly. I don't care about the other part. You know what? It shouldn't affect anybody with what you say. Your opinion
Yeah.
shouldn't affect anybody in a negative way, because they can sit there and say, you know what, that's fine, you want to think that, that's fine, I've got my own way of thinking. I'm not going to fight you about it. What's the
Our
point?
society doesn't work like that anymore.
Well, and
It
that's
should.
one of the reasons
Maybe
why
it,
we need to make sure it does start working like
I
that again.
agree with you on that. I mean,
So
because I really do. I have a vested interest in your opinion? No.
no,
Would I care what you think? But again, generationally, it didn't matter. I grew up where it was fine to be different.
yeah,
It was, I was not quite as different when I was younger as I am now. That's okay because, I've gotten to the point, I've got my husband, I've got my dogs, kids, grandkids. I'm good. Whatever happens is fine. I'll adapt to it. But I am not going to tolerate being disrespected if I haven't been rude to you. And if you feel like you need to, then we need to talk about why you feel like you can be that way. What have I done that made you feel like this was your alternative, that you couldn't have a conversation, but you're going to be rude? And when sometimes people don't even realize they're doing it, and that's okay, because as long as you're comfortable saying, this is not okay for you to talk to me like that, what's going on? Then you can have a conversation. We're not conversing. People are just wanting to get in your face and beat you bloody, and that's not going to work, because I would have something to say about that if somebody started that.
I
and,
agree.
and a way to fix it. So, you need to be careful who you try to break bad on, for one thing, because, it's not cool to do that ever. And if you don't have a sound logic behind why you feel that way, then I'm not going to care a bit about your opinion. You have to have a thought process before you get mad.
Yep. Well, at least I mean, look, everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a behind. Okay, and
Yes.
most of them stink. That's just the way it is to other people. Okay, that's the way it is. And I personally would rather you be different from me, because I don't need you to be like me. I won't learn anything from you if you are exactly like me. I need you to be you, because you know what? You are interesting to me. There's no mystery in my life to me. Okay. I've
Exactly.
never walked up to myself and went, oh, I didn't know that about me, because I do know that about. And if I did, I was probably drinking. So, and I don't
That
drink
has
anymore.
nothing to do with that reaction.
Yeah. So, it's like, wow, I didn't realize I was that guy. So, but look, Kat, I appreciate you joining us today. I appreciate you being with us. And I appreciate the support. And I hope that you join us next year when we celebrate our 5th year.
Now that I know it and know how to do it, then you can absolutely bank on me supporting this, because I think that, I think you're very cool. I like you.
No, thank
And
you.
I just, one of the things that I have found is that the people that I have met through things and gotten to know, not very many people, but I'm working on that. But there's so many people that have so much to offer and that have so many great ideas. Look at you doing this. This is fantastic, and bringing about conversation. And I just think that this is so important. And I really am glad that you included me in it, because I think it matters so much.
Well,
So
I do appreciate that, and I appreciate that you took the time to look over the compass and you saw what the plan is. And I appreciate you looking at the value of the compass. So thank you, Kat, for joining us. And I do look forward to talking with you more throughout the year and getting you back on here next year. So thank you.
thank you.
All right. Have a great evening.
Bye, everyone. You too.
So, speaking of the compass, we're going to finish out this hour with a thing that I recorded earlier today. This explains what the Come Together Compass is. Okay. The Come Together Compass is a program that is here to do one thing, and that is help everyone. Sound nonsensical? Listen to this and give me some advice. There's some of you on here with us. Tell us what you think. Be part of this, because our goal is to make sure that no one gets left behind. This is the Come Together Compass.
Hey you, yeah you, it's time to rise. Every heartbeat tells a story. A silent rhythm, strong and true. But silence helps one hear the call. Your voice can break down
zero. But what we're going to do next is we are going to talk about in depth for the first time today, and believe me, it's going to happen again. But we're going to talk about the Come Together Compass, the plans, how you can support us. And we're going to watch a little video from the students at Arizona State University, which is helping Community Pay It Forward build the compass. So we'll be back in just a second, and we will get on with our discussion about the Come Together Compass.
Hey friends, I've been thinking, we all have our strengths, right? There are things I'm great at and things I'm definitely not great at. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, but ask me to add something to a website or an app. Yeah, that's where things get a little messy. Oops, I love speaking, I love sharing stories. But social media, all those hashtags, algorithms, trends, that's a jungle I still haven't mapped out. Now, coming up with ideas that bring people together, that's my sweet spot. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I have agreed to stay in separate corners. And you know what? That's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, that's when the magic happens. Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every single one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us strong on our own. But imagine how powerful we become when we combine them. That's the heart of Community Pay It Forward. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working side by side to make a real difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's discover it together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
Community Pay It Forward isn't just another rewards program. It's a movement built on compassion and connection. We link everyday businesses, nonprofits, and neighbors, so simple actions like buying lunch, getting your car fixed, or hiring a service can create lasting impact. When you choose one of our giving partners, part of your purchase goes directly to families, veterans, children, or community missions in need. It doesn't cost you a dime more. It just means your purchases matter. Because here, every transaction tells a story. And our belief is simple. If you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. Because at Community Pay It Forward, no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. So one of the other changes that we're making this year is the top of every third hour. We're going to be taking like a 5 minute break. Okay, so every 3 hours coming up at um, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 7 a.m. Eastern, we're going to take a 5 minute break so we can our switch our feeds. We have to do that due to rules for the program we use to stream. So we will go dark for 5 minutes at the top of every third hour. Okay. But then we're going to bounce back and we're going to be right back. You will have 5 hours this time, 4 hours, sorry, 4 hours this time without me. Okay. Things Network is taking over for 4 hours, and I am going to say thank you so very, very much for that. 22 hours is, it's a chore. It's a chore. So, um, once again, if there's something to say, you can use the red QR code. Okay, you can go to the website, which is on the bottom of the screen, communitypayitforward.us/upcoming events. You go there, you check in, you can read all the information that you're going to hear right now about the Come Together Compass. You can see more about this event. You can still support us. All right, donors, we're still looking for extra prizes. At 10 o'clock tonight, I'd love to be able to spin and give away 100 prizes. I would love to be able to do that. That would be so awesome if we could do that. So you still have time to be a donor. Make a comment. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and make a comment. Okay? And when you do that, you will be in the running for prizes. The grand prize tonight being a 1-hour reading from Lynn Sabulski, 1-hour tarot reading. And she will be live tonight at 10 p.m. East, giving free readings to you. A gift from us and a gift from her at Footnotes Tarot. So today we begin a mission that is bigger than any one of us, a mission rooted in compassion, in courage, and in the belief that our heroes deserve more than applause. They deserve support that lasts. And when I say heroes, I mean the people who run toward danger when the rest of us, well, instinctively, we run away. So, and in this, I'm talking about veterans, first responders, healthcare workers, civilian engineers are somebody who often get forgotten about. Sad but true. The families who carry the weight right alongside them. You just heard Scott talking about how his family, due to his injuries, his family carries the burden. Families terribly affected by what happens. But today we're going to introduce a new way of understanding how to support them. A way that's simple, human, and universal. We call it the Come Together Compass. A compass always points us towards what matters. And this one, as I believe most compasses do, points towards 4 major directions of care. When it points north, we're dealing with the physical needs. East, emotional needs. South, social needs. And west, the purpose and direction. Every direction represents a way that we can show up for our heroes. Every direction represents a path toward healing. And every direction is supported by real stories happening right now across our country. Now, when I wrote this in a way that we are focusing on the heroes in with what I just said. But I need you to understand the Come Together Compass is for everyone. You, me, your mom, your dad, your neighbor, the guy across the street you've never talked to. It's here for everyone. It's here to support us all. It's here for us to connect to people in a way that we've never been able to do and connect to people in a way that's special in healing. When our Take two. When our compass points north, that means we're dealing with physical needs. We meet the physical needs of our heroes. Physical needs are the foundation. If the body is hurting, exhausted, or overwhelmed, everything else becomes harder. We say this relentlessly. Healing is difficult if everything is not in sync. It's not difficult, it's impossible. And right now, our heroes are carrying physical burdens most people, well, they never see. They have to go through different protocols. They have different rules, HIPAA, stuff like that. So they can't talk to people all the time. They've just got, it's different for them. One of the news stories I found was a recent report highlighted a breakthrough therapy helping veterans and first responders combat PTSD, depression, and trauma-related physical symptoms. One doctor reported that up to 90% of patients showed a positive response to that treatment. Doug White, a veteran and former sheriff's deputy, described his service as a front row seat into the show you never wanted to see. That trauma didn't just affect his mind, it lived in his body. This story reminds us that physical healing is inseparable from emotional healing. You saw the trauma on Scott. He doesn't want to be a story. He wants to be better. Yeah, there are people out there who are drug seeking because that's a habit. It's what they do, but most people just want to be better. It's not a hard ask. And again, if we can focus on getting insurance companies out of the freaking way, it's a possibility. Look, some of the goals of the North direction: reduce physical strain from the person and their family, increase access to trauma-informed medical care, support recovery from energies, chronic stress and exhaustion opportunities, ensure heroes and everyone have access to safe housing, nutrition, rest, and medical support. How can we use the compass? How can we support using the compass? The compass will map local clinics, trauma-informed treatment centers, and specialized programs like the one Doug used. It will show a veteran-friendly providers, first responder medical programs, and injury recovery sources that are there for our heroes, for our veterans, but also for everyone else. It will offer a step-by-step guidance on what to expect from treatment, how to prepare, and how to follow up. It will connect families to housing, support, transportation, and nutrition services. Our heroes, you know what? I'm going to say all of us carry trauma in our bodies, in their sleep, in their muscles, their heartbeat. Physical healing is not optional, it's the foundation of everything else. When the compass points north, we commit to making sure no hero suffers alone in their body. The Come Together Compass will make physical support easy. It'll make finding access easy and impossible to overlook. Now, again, this QR code can help us make this happen quicker. Any donation is so appreciated. $5, $10, whatever. Every donation means the world to me. And it's going to help us get the Come Together Compass moving. We're also looking for people in any of those fields that you just heard that would like to be listed as a option for the Come Together Compass. There are requirements. First visit, the initial visit at least, has to be available to the people that you are servicing. If you're a veteran only organization, you have to have the initial visit for the veteran. You have to agree that if there are emergency immediate steps that need to be taken, they must be taken immediately, and you have to help us find the next step. This is not just a program that's going to happen. This is a program that we've got to work together. And we need you to help us make sure it works. When the compass points east, we meet emotional needs for everyone. Emotional wounds are often the deepest and most invisible. People see things the human heart was never meant to carry. We will talk to someone a little bit later on who was in a very abusive dating relationship and multiple times, and she turned it in around and started making this to where she could help others not make the mistakes she made. So that's going to be Dating Tips by Meg, and Meg is going to be joining us a little bit later on today. Meg will be joining us at 3:30 East. So I really look forward to seeing her and Meg Pratt. I haven't seen her for quite a while, so it's going to be a great time to catch up with her. And she is one of our mission partners, so you can support her by making a purchase with any of our giving partners and choosing Dating Tips by Meg as the person you would like to support. So there's a new Texas law that established a statewide peer-to-peer mental health support network for firefighters and EMT workers. This network connects first responders with trained peers who understand their trauma firsthand. This is emotional support in action. Heroes helping heroes. A 2025 report showed that veterans and first responders face significantly higher risks of PTSD, depression, and substance use due to repeated trauma exposure. This isn't theory. This is reality. Look, all of us are one right turn from seeing trauma. all of us are turning down one aisle at the grocery store to seeing trauma. But if you spend your day being there for people's traumas, you're going to see it more often. I mean, that's just, that's not a theory, it's reality. What are some of the goals of the East Direction? Well, it's to reduce stigma around mental health. Well, I can't let the guys see that I'm suffering. That's ridiculous. If I let the guys see, they're going to razz me. Well, tough shit. Take the razzing. We don't, by the way, to the guys, shut up. Grow up. Provide access to trauma-informed counseling. Expand peer-to-peer emotional support, like we were just talking about the one in Texas. Ensure 24/7 availability of crisis and non-crisis emotional care. These are just, again, if you are someone who does any of those things, please reach out to us today. Get yourself listed on the Come Together Compass. Because when you do, it's going to be a place for people just to be able to go and see people who will help them. It's not like Google where, you're going to type in, hey, I'm feeling messed up today, and all of a sudden they got to go through 6 pages of ads. No, it's going to say, these people are in my area. I can call them. I can get seen in a couple days, not 4 months from now. How we can support East using the compass. Well, the compass will list peer support networks, helplines, counseling programs, and 24/7 emotional support platforms. It will help heroes and others. Sorry, I'm trying to stop the heroes thing and just put in people in general. It'll help people choose between therapy, peer support groups, peer support group sessions, or online resources. It will include real stories from other people, reducing stigma and building trust. It will guide families on how to support a person during emotional distress. Emotional wounds don't just show up on x-rays, but they are just as real, just as painful, and just as dangerous. People often carry the emotional weight of every life they come into contact with, and especially our heroes in our first responders and our heroes in that way. I've heard the horrific stories of some of the things that they have to do. You have to be a special person. When the compass points east, we commit to listening, supporting, and believing our heroes. The Come Together Compass will make emotional support accessible at any hour on any day. So that is our east. See, for me, that's that way now. I have to remember what's going on. Geez, hour and a half in, and I can't remember which way. It's not good. When the compass points south, we strengthen the social connections that keep people grounded. Isolation is one of the greatest threats to the well-being of our heroes. Shift work, trauma, and burnout can push them away from the people whom love them the most. Who loved them the most? Whom loved them the most? Jesus. Sorry about that. Who loved them the most? A 2025 guide that emphasizes veterans and first responders need community based support, not just clinical care. It highlighted the importance of ongoing connection, peer groups, and family involvement. This is the heart of the South direction connection. Some of the goals are strengthen family support systems, building community networks around people, reduce isolation and loneliness. We have talked about this and we're going to talk more about this today. I have a wonderful conversation with Aviva Chansky, and we talk about this a lot. That with these wonderful computers, these things that you see my ugly mug on right now, there's no reason why we cannot have conversations face to face with people no matter where they're at in this crazy world. Reduce isolation and loneliness. Create opportunities for heroes to reconnect socially. Maybe think about something that you can do to take and pull people out of their their shell. Bring them together with other people. How we support the South direction using the compass. The compass will map local support groups, family programs, community events, and peer gatherings. It will help families find childcare, meal, uh, meal trains and meal boxes, transportation, and community support. It'll highlight volunteer opportunities for the public to support our heroes. It will connect heroes to social groups, fitness communities, and recreational programs. I call on you once again, if you belong to any of those, anything that has to do with any of that, please join the Come Together Compass. Let us share you with those who need you. Nobody should ever feel alone in their struggle. Connection is medicine. Community is healing. When the compass points south, we commit to building circles of support around everyone. The Come Together Compass will make it easy for families, neighbors, and communities to show up for our heroes and for you. Finally, when the compass points west, we're here to help people rediscover purpose, identity, and direction. Many people lose their sense of purpose after trauma, injury, or burnout. Some feel disconnected from the mission that once defined them. A 2025 article described how AI is being used to help veterans and first responders navigate mental health resources more efficiently. It emphasized that technology can help heroes regain control and direction of their lives. This is exactly what the West direction is all about: guidance. What are some of the goals? And again, please listen carefully. And if you are part of any of these, make a connection with us, and we can turn what you do into support for everyone. Help people rediscover meaning and purpose. Support transitions after injury, retirement, or trauma. Provide career guidance, education, and mentorship. Offer tools that help heroes navigate their next chapter. Offer tools that help everyone navigate to their next chapter. How can we support the West point in the compass? The compass will guide people to career programs, education benefits, mentorship networks, and purpose building activities. It will help heroes, it will help everyone identify new missions, new passions, and new ways to serve. It will offer goal setting tools, journaling prompts, and personal development resources. It will connect people to volunteer opportunities that restore meaning. Purpose is an anchor that keeps us steady in the storm. People deserve a future filled with meaning, not just memories. When the compass points west, that way, we help people find their next mission. The Come Together Compass will guide heroes towards purpose, direction, and hope. Now, what happens when we bring the compass together? North, east, south, and west, each direction matters, but the true power of the compass is how these directions work together. A hero may need physical healing today, emotional support tomorrow, social connections next week, and a renewed sense of purpose next month. The compass adapts, the compass guides. The compass meets heroes where they are. Tonight, we're not just launching a mission, we're building a movement. A movement that says our heroes deserve care in every direction. People deserve a compass that always points them toward hope. And together, with your support, we will build that compass. We will fill it with the resources. We will fill it with the stories. We will fill it with love. And we will make sure that no one ever has to walk alone again. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to invite you to learn more by going to communitypayitforward.us/upcoming events, and you can read the pamphlet about the Come Together Compass. You can get involved now by pitching a donation, a $5 donation, whatever, using the PayPal code above. We invite you to help support us. We invite you to help heal others. And we invite you to be part of the construction of the Come Together Compass. Now, something I am extremely looking forward to because I haven't seen this. These are the wonderful kids showing you where the compass is at right now. Remember, this is not a finished thing, but this is where it's at right now, what they're working on right now. And then I'll be back to finish this out. Here, yes, I can. Yeah, I can if you send it to me. As soon as I'm done showing this video, I will do that. Yeah, so share the video with me, or the link with me, and I'll share it after this. But anyway, this is from the students at Arizona State University showing us what the compass looks like. Remember, this is still the infant stage. But I am so excited because you know what? I'm watching it with you for the very first time.
Hi everyone, this is Tyler Thompson at ASU Poly. I'm here to talk to you about our project so far that we're really excited about. So what we have here is called the Come Together Compass. This is the product we're currently developing, of course. So I'd like to show you around and see kind of what the idea of the product is and how we think it can help people that are in need. So right now on the side here, as you can see, these are just sample locations, but the idea is that we're going to have these resources with our partners, where if you are struggling with something or you need help or need assistance, you can come on the compass and find somewhere or something that can help you. And the idea of that is multifaceted. It's this map, it's the resources provided, and it's also a chatbot functionality, which we'll show you in just a second. But for right now, I'll just show you what the idea of it is. So I'm around here, and let's say that maybe at ASU Poly they have some sort of event for people in need. So you can click on here, and it'll focus up on the map. It's just like Google Maps, basically. But if you click on it, you'll see the information about it. The idea is that we have the partners on the side, and they have certain, let's say it's like an event or something to that nature where they can put it on the map. And then you can see the information here. You can go to their website, you can see a description of it. We're also going to want to implement a video functionality. So if you click on it, it'll go to a YouTube video that the sponsor has recorded as well. But right now you can just get directions straight from Google Maps. And yeah, that's kind of the idea of the map section, where you can see kind of resources around you in a natural Google Maps way, or in a navigational way in general. And then you can see resources that you need. With this chatbot functionality down here, their name is Chatty. It's just examples for people who have need grounding techniques or breathing exercises. For example, if I type grounding techniques, it'll run through some techniques. Like I said, this is a very basic chatbot functionality right now. We're actually in contact with counseling resources at ASU that can help us flesh out this chatbot a little bit more and maybe give it a bit more features. But the idea of it is, it's not a medical chatbot. It's not AI or anything like that. It's a very simple chatbot that somebody can come here, and if they just need breathing exercises or grounding techniques, they can get it. If there's something more at play, or if there's a crisis situation, we want to be able to forward them to people that can help them. So this is kind of a way to get people the help they need, even if it's just like the smallest bit of help. That's always super helpful. So that's the idea behind the chatbot. So yeah, that's the functionality of the front end for users. How they would interact with this website is through this map functionality as well as a chatbot. It's all developed using open source technology, which is great because we would want to be able to have other people, even in other countries, be able to take this technology and use it wherever they have. So that's just kind of what's great about open source technology in general, but I won't go too much into it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you like what we're making so far, and yeah, thank you.
Life hits fast. Crisis doesn't wait, and too many families face hardship alone. But what if one community, one movement, could guide people from crisis to stability and finally home? The Come Together Compass was created for one reason. No one should face hardship alone. Families are overwhelmed, nonprofits are stretched thin, businesses want to help but don't know where to start. Resources exist, but they're scattered, confusing, and hard to access. The purpose of the Come Together Compass is simple: to guide people from crisis to stability by uniting the community around them. The compass removes confusion, connects families to real help, gives businesses a meaningful way to give back, and builds a culture where compassion is the norm. At the heart of the compass is a belief. When we work together, we guide people home. Home isn't just a place, it's safety, it's support. It's knowing someone cares enough to walk with you through the storm. The North Pillar is physical needs, providing real, immediate help: food, clothing, household essentials, transportation, emergency resources. When crisis hits, people don't need a maze, they need a map. The compass gives them a clear path to support. The East Pillar is emotional needs, because hardship isn't just physical. People need connection, encouragement, and strength. The compass offers peer support, check-ins, and mental wellness resources. Help that feels human, not transactional. The South Pillar is community connection, building long-term stability. The compass links families to nonprofits, business partners, volunteers, and community events. This is how crisis becomes stability, and stability becomes empowerment. And the West Pillar is the promise of the compass, the commitment that no one will be left behind. Every family will be met with dignity. Every partner will be valued. Every act of kindness will guide someone closer to home. The compass serves families and individuals facing hardship, nonprofits who want to collaborate, businesses who want to give back, donors and volunteers who want to make a real impact. The compass matters because people are struggling silently, because resources are scattered, because good people want to help but don't know where to start, because community should mean something. This is more than a program. It is a beacon, a guide, a promise. Join the movement, support a family, partner with the compass. Help us guide people home.
So that's a little bit more information about the Come Together Compass, and Scott, I'm trying to find the link for it once again. Right now, I've got the QR code up in the corner, um, and I probably should have done that a lot earlier. Tried to find it, but if you just go to PayPal and put in the uh, here's the address. Let's see. Okay, I don't know where I started going off there. I just kind of started losing my direction, and and that was like early this morning. So, that's back before I looked like whatever the hell you're seeing now. So, we are about ready to hit hour number 21, heading into 22. Before we go any further and before I shut it down for the last hour and open up the new studio, I can't believe I have to open up a new studio for 1 hour. But I want to thank everyone who has dedicated at least 22 minutes. That's all I asked for. That's all I ever asked for on this day, is to dedicate at least 22 minutes to this. And I hope that you guys share with everybody next year when we come here to do this. And remember, we also do this in December. We work with Things Network on a program called The Miracle of the Season. And the Miracle of the Season is about coming together as a human collective again. we talk about all the religions. We talk about all the celebrations. We talk about everything that's going on. I also want to give a huge thanks to you, Things Network, for your support over these first 4 years. I want to thank you for, Jeremy, Adrian, Jan, Nick, who unfortunately was in an accident, but he not a serious accident. He's okay. But we were lucky enough to meet his uncle earlier this afternoon, and um, it was fantastic. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get us the thing that he was trying to get us. Hopefully, he can get that done, and I can get it added into the playlist when I put this all together. So, what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to take about a 3-minute break, and I'm going to open up a new studio. So, please, please, please do me a favor. Don't go away. Keep with us for this last hour, and let's keep this conversation going. Okay? We got one more hour to go. Stay up with me so I don't fall asleep. I'm asking you to help me not fall asleep. Honestly, I think I might be asleep already anyway. I just don't know. So, but please refresh. If you cannot find us on Facebook, just go to, all you got to do is go to YouTube, either go to Things Network or go to one of the Pack Channel YouTube channels. But please don't give up on us for this last hour. Continue with us for this last hour, and let's get this done. Let's close out Mission for Healthy Heroes 2026. Thank you very much.